Happy Saturday, foodie friends, grain-free VIPs, and welcome to today's Slice of the Grain-Free Lifestyle episode. I'm so happy to be here with you today. As you are coming on and being notified that I'm here live, could you please say hello or drop an emoji in the chat? And if you are catching this on replay, please use hashtag replay. If you're seeing this on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe so that I can continue to bring you wonderful and important grain-free lifestyle tips every week. Okay, speaking of that, what are we talking about today? Today, we are looking at the essential tools and equipment for your grain-free lifestyle. Now, much of this you already have. I know you do, because you can't boil water without a pot, right? So there are some tools and equipment that we are not going to talk about. I'm going to assume that you already have stainless steel pots and pans, something to stir with, but the rest of it, we are really going to kind of take a deep dive in. All right. These turning and cutting spatulas, absolutely fabulous. If you want to save space, they cut and they flip. Of course, you can't use them on a non-stick pan, but hopefully we don't have many of those. Stirring spatulas, an absolute must. Tongs, gotta have those. A nice utility knife as well as a chef's knife are absolutely ideal. And you're probably saying, Nina, I already have those. Why are these important for a grain-free lifestyle? Because the one thing that I cannot spare you from, if you want to eat more real food than convenience food, is a grain-free lifestyle does mean a little bit more time in your kitchen. So with the right tools, we can decrease time in our kitchen. Now, how do I know that? You might know, my name is Nina Blake. I'm the grain-free lifestyle coach, and I've been grain-free for almost 13 years. I've been grain-free through working full-time while in grad school, so that's kind of like 2 jobs, right? Developing programs for work, extra work there, through foster parenting, through miscarriage, through divorce, through relocation. It's a lot, but we can do it. And so as part of my mission to help families pack their menus with flavor and variety while avoiding grains and allergens so that they can enjoy meals together and live their best lives, I do these weekly episodes to help you level up your grain-free lifestyle, because I remember what it was like to be in that doctor's office, to hear you have to go grain-free, and by the way, you can't have dairy, and being absolutely trembling with the question, what am I supposed to eat? Because I didn't know. I had no clue. If you can't have grains, I mean, what was I eting for sides then? Well, let's see. I was eating all kinds of pastas. Everything, if it didn't have wheat, it had rice. And if it didn't have wheat or rice, it had corn, and I was losing my mind. So one of the first things that I do with my fast track VIPs is teach them about hidden grains, and then we go through their pantry and we get the hidden grains out so they can experience the full benefits of what it is to be grain-free. Now, we're talking about tools and equipment today, and there are some tools and equipment that you have that you probably don't know how important they are, like little glass bowls and mason jars. And what do I mean? Well, the little glass bowls, it's so important that we don't have plastic coming into contact with our food. I have a plastic lid here, you're right, but the glass bowl, it's not going to contain the toxins that are in plastic. So we want to have glass coming into contact with our food. That way our food is as natural and healthy as possible, right? This is some 3X coconut flour. I store it in a mason jar. Grain-free VIPs, you know what that is, and you know why we absolutely need this. This is our egg replacer. It's amazing. I've used it in my donuts. I've used it in my cookie bars, in my mayonnaise. This stuff is gold. Okay, so let's talk some more. Tongs. Whenever you're turning something, you saw me last week. I use these to remove the waffles, keep my fingers safe. Of course, you're going to want a longer set of tongs for your grill, right? We're only 5 minutes in, and you might be like, Nina, I have all that, but how come I can't do what you do? The reason is equipment is important, but equipment is the bridge between ingredient and technique. And I want to teach you those techniques. I was so proud of one of my VIPs this morning. Eleanor, you posted in our group, you posted the pancakes that you made, because in that class you learned to develop the xanthan gum just right to get perfect pancakes that your son was able to enjoy. So proud of you. So let's talk more about equipment. We know the general kitchen tools are stainless steel, whatnot, but what about equipment? I want to say first that this equipment does not have to cost you an arm and a leg. Everything that I'm going to show you, you can get for $200 or less. Some of it you can get for free. Fair? Okay, let me get our first contestant. Okay, this is my food processor. Now, do I think that you need to have a food processor to be grain-free? No. Do I think it's essential if you want to have fresh veggies in your life and avoid the nasty grains that come with them? Yes, it also saves me time. So my food processor, I think I got it for less than $200. I've had it, I've been here 7 years, so I've had this food processor for 8 years. Recently, this piece broke and I had to replace it, and it cost me $25. It's great to have something that, you know, can have, it doesn't, when one thing breaks, you don't have to replace the whole thing, right? So what do I use this food processor for? I use it for making my truffles, my dairy-free truffles. You've seen those, right? I use it for making the crust for my chocolate cream pie. I use it for making the crust for my new cheesecake. I use it for every week when I am slicing vegetables. Brrr, the vegetables go right in. Saves me a lot of time, okay? I also use it when I'm making pie crust. Now, if you're like, Nina, that's out of my budget. Okay, I understand that and I respect that. I need to tell you that I've gotten food processors for free on social media groups called Buy Nothing. They might not be the most recently released food processors, but you can get a food processor. Go to your local Buy Nothing group, let them know that you have a food allergy, you're looking for a food processor. Somebody might have one, whether it's a spare, they're downsizing, or someone's, you know, great chef of a mom just moved into a smaller place and no longer needs it because where they moved, they're taking care of the meals. Whatever the case may be, a budget does not have to stop you. If you're like, Nina, I really need to save money with my grain-free lifestyle, absolutely. I want you to use the calendar link that my awesome VA Rose has put into the comments and hop on a call with me so that I can tell you more about how to increase the quality of your food while saving money. On that calendar link, there is a question about your budget, and that is so I don't offer you opportunities that are beyond your means, okay? So get your name on my calendar so that we can connect and I can teach you these techniques using equipment. All right, so food processor. You ready to see something else? You are going to need something that grinds. This is my cooking blender. It has a really big base. Let's see if I can bring you over and show it to you. See, there's the base over there. Okay, now you do not have to have a super expensive cooking blender. I like it because it actually makes all my veggie purees for me. So when a recipe like my bacon ranch pasta or my chicken and mashed no-tato soup calls for pureed vegetables, I put the vegetables in here. I let the cooking blender do the work, and I usually go outside and do something else. So it saves me a lot of time. This is what I use to grind my chia, to grind my 3X coconut flour, and all of a sudden it takes a lot of work out. Now, if you're like, not in my budget, a coffee grinder will not cook your vegetables, but a coffee grinder will grind your chia, grind your coconut flour in a way that you can accomplish that goal. And again, you can get a coffee grinder for no cost in your local social media Buy Nothing group, okay? So we're really not talking about extra cost. You ready to see the last piece of equipment? The equipment that if I did not have, I would not be able to do what I do. Can you guess what it is? Go ahead and put it in the comments. What do you think? Here it is. It is my stand mixer. Now, if you're saying, Nina, not in my budget, pardon the Google AI, a friend of mine has a lot of fun and decided to give my stand mixer googly eyes, and they're too cute to take off. But yeah, a stand mixer. I use my stand mixer to make all my breads. Why? Well, number one, I don't want to knead them. I've never been able to knead a grain-free bread successfully. You can get a bread maker, but a bread maker has limited functions, whereas a stand mixer can do so much more, right? A bread maker is limited to yeast breads, but with a stand mixer, you can make yeast-free breads and control the timing of when you add your leavening agents. And that's what makes technique, right? Ingredients plus equipment makes technique, and it's the technique that gets us a yeast-free bread with the appearance and the flavor and just the right feel in your mouth of a bread that you buy at the store, of a bread that isn't grain-free. So yes, we need the equipment. Now there's two things I want to tell you about your stand mixer. You want to get something called a dough spiral. A dough spiral looks like a curly cue. Let me see if I can find mine. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now I have two mixers because I am not allowed to use a hand mixer at my house. Okay, Confessions of a Grain-Free Lifestyle Coach. I killed 3 hand mixers in 6 years. I killed them, burnt them out, unplugged them before they started smoking. It might have something to do with developing cookie recipes. Nothing caught fire, nothing melted. But the reason I'm not showing you a stand mixer today, the reason I'm not showing you a hand mixer today, and I'm showing you a stand mixer, is because the stand mixers have the power. And I spent on those 3 hand mixers, I spent more than I did on my stand mixer. So definitely an investment that lasts forever. Now, if you're going, not in my budget, hold tight. The other day I was in an antique shop down in East Lyme, down in Niantic, East Lyme, and they had 2 stand mixers in there, both KitchenAid, for less than $200. So everybody has an antique shop within 30 minutes of them. Check the antique shops, not the ones that have the beautiful cherished things, the ones that price things to sell, the ones that where things are always moving. That's a great place to look. So let's talk about the difference between your dough spiral and your dough hook. Your dough hook looks like a hook, Captain Hook, right? It's a hook. This thing is more like a home cook's. This is more like a professional kitchen. If you can see, when we talk about surface area, it has twice the surface area that comes in contact with the dough. So it kneads it twice as fast. It also gives a better knead. 9 times out of 10, when I troubleshoot a bread making recipe with a VIP, it's this thing, and they need to double the kneading time. It's okay, the recipe will work, but I want you to get the very best results the first time that you make your grain-free bread. Now, if you're a fast track VIP and you haven't watched the basics of grain-free bread baking course, you've got to watch it because I go through all my techniques. You get the course manual and it's like I'm in your kitchen baking with you. Okay, so use my calendar link, get your name on my calendar, we'll hop on a call, I'll tell you more about how I can support you and transform your equipment into the grain-free lifestyle that you've been dreaming of. All right, that's it for me today. Remember, the possibilities are endless when you break a recipe.